Still watching News Desk. I am Daniel Daz. And let's go straight to Flagstaff House, where, like we were saying, President Akufo-Addo is now putting his signature to 5 new bills to make them acts, and then they would now be implemented. And our man on the ground, Elton John Brobe, is joining us to tell us a bit more about this. Elton, we understand that one of these bills is the Office of Special Prosecutor bill. Which are the other 4?
Exactly, Daniel. The president started work today. You know, this is his first official working day as far as 2018 is concerned. And signing the bills, assenting to the bill was his first task when he got to the Flagstaff House. Indeed, 5 bills were signed into law today. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Dordin Development Authority, the Middle Belt Development Authority, the Coastal Development Authority, and the Zongo Development Authority. So these 5 bills were signed in the presence of the presidential press corps, and this was the first time the president undertook when he got to the Flagstaff House. So we have the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Northern Development Authority, the Middle Belt Development Authority, the Coastal Belt Development Authority, and the Zongo Development Authority. Now, the president had some words after signing these bills into law. For him, these were campaign promises of the MPP in the run-up to the 2016 elections. The bills were sent to Parliament. They were debated. There were some controversies with the bills. Eventually, Parliament passed them before it went on recess in December. It was then up to him as President of the Republic to go through what Parliament had done, and then, if satisfied with it, accept it to it. So that's exactly what he did this morning. For him, regarding the Office of the Special Prosecutor, he is very confident that the fight against corruption will be stepped up when the office is formally functional with a special prosecutor and his or her staff. And this will bring an end to the political victimization and persecution when a political party in the office attempts to, hold people accountable for their deeds whilst in office. And he's hoping the person who will be chosen or who will be selected as a special prosecutor will be independent of government and then work on his own, investigate cases of corruption, establish them, go to court and prosecute them. And he's confident that people will not raise issues of political witch hunting in relating to the work of the special prosecutor when that person is formally selected. Also, with the others, the development authorities.
Elton.
Yeah.
About the Office of Special Prosecutor, did the president give any indication as to when the process of setting up the office and appointing the person will actually begin?
No, not yet. He wouldn't go directly into that issue. These are matters that will require a lot of consultation because they are looking at somebody with unblemished integrity and all that. So, according to him, the first step was putting the bill before Parliament. The second step was getting Parliament to pass it. The third step is him giving his official approval to the work done by Parliament. The next stage now is to begin the search, establish the secretariat, and then get it functional. And according to him, his government is really moving at a top speed in 2018 to ensure that most of the campaign promises and most of the work that started in 2017 are accomplished. So that's how come in his first day in office in 2018, this is what he did, because he's very much committed to ensuring that corruption is rooted out of the country, and the first step is getting somebody independent of government to prosecute this particular agenda.
Right, and so I believe the same goes for the Northern and Middle Belt and Coastal Development Associations. And these...
Absolutely. I mean, basically, according to them, these development authorities have been established primarily to speed up development in this area. There will be a dedicated fund for them. They will draw up their own programs. And then, most especially, working closely with the Ministry of Special Development
Initiative.
Yeah, initiative. They will work out addressing the key challenges affecting these areas, the Northern, the Middle Belt, and the Coastal already. They have inaugurated the Regional Development Authority personnel, and their task is to investigate and come up with developmental needs of the country. So, on the region district basis, the authorities will now take the work of the people who have been inaugurated, write proposals to the Ministry of Social Development, get the money and get it done. The aim, according to him, is to bring development at level in every part of the country.
Right. Thank you very much, Elton Broby, for that report from Flagstaff House. And he's our man there. We expect more from Flagstaff House as regards the assenting of these 5 new bills. So what's just coming in from Flagstaff House, in case you missed it, is that 5 new bills have been assented by the President. These are the Office of Special Prosecutor Bill, the Northern Development Authority Bill, Middle Belt Development Authority Bill, Coastal Development Authority Bill, and Zongo Development Authority Bill. So all of these are acts. Now, what that means is that the process of actually setting up these offices and getting them to work begins now. Already, 268 million Ghana cedis was allocated, $268 million was allocated to the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives to be disbursed among these 3 authorities, the Middle Belt, the Northern and the Coastal Development Authorities, apart from, of course, what would be included there for the running of the ministry itself. And the Zongo Development Authority as well would have some budgetary allocation, and the Office of Special Prosecutor through the Office of the Attorney General as well. Interesting times coming ahead. Again, we were talking, of course, about the fight against galamsey. Very much an issue of corruption. But you were talking about how it will be important for investigation to go in here to uncover those behind it.
Yeah, it's this. Most of these people who are being arrested. Most of the people are the people who are in the pits who are working, and some of them, I would even call them victims themselves. Some of the Chinese people who are arresting. Somebody definitely you will not get Chinese people who work from their countries and come straight into this. We're saying Chinese because if you look at it, the larger percentage of the people who are arrested are foreigners who have been arrested are Chinese, are Togolese and others. But these foreigners who come in, they won't come in on their own accord. And the cost of being able to run these projects are not peanuts. It requires a lot of money. So who are the people who actually are funding this? Who are the people who are buying the gold once it is done? If you don't deal with the problem at the root, it will be difficult. So for us as journalists, we need to do our bit in terms of some investigative forensic, follow the trail of the money. But it's not only us. The national security also need to be interested in that to ensure that they can get to the roots of the people who are funding this illicit trade. Otherwise, we will do all of the things that we do. They will just go and take other victims again and be able to use them. So our hope is that as journalists, we would be able to get to the bottom of it. The Media Coalition even has some money, and one of the things that we have put some money aside from the money we've gotten from people is to allocate money to any journalist who want to embark on some investigative work, so that we can fund such a project, so that we can get to the bottom of it. We need just a few of these big, men and women who are behind this thing. Make sure that we expose them, we name and shame them, but most importantly, they are prosecuted. And then the law, does its job and finds them guilty. If they are found guilty, they are sentenced.
And how would interested journalists be able to access this?
All they need to do is to apply to, because the work itself is investigative in nature. It's not something that you want to open up. So all they need to do is to apply to the Media Coalition, any of the members of the steering committee. Fortunately, you have if they are in GIBA, if they are GIBA members, the GIBA representation, so they can apply through that, and then they will be considered, and then their projects will be funded.
Right. Any final words before we go?
Well, the only thing I would want to say is to appeal to the Honorable Attorney General to say that we need her support. We believe that she would be able to help us. We believe she holds a key to ensuring that the right thing is done. We also are appealing to her ladyship, the Chief Justice. As she says, she's still looking into it. We're taking her advice. We would try and get some lawyers who can help us. We're appealing to corporate Ghana to also help fund this process of going to court. But she also, whatever it is that she's looking into, how she can help us, so that all of us, together with the various arms of government, the president, our parliamentarians, and we, the fourth estate of the realm, we're able to get to the bottom of this, and so that by next year, when we sit here and talk, we would have eradicated you know, those who are still engaged in mining on our water bodies and, you know, decimating the environment. And they would have moved to the next phase where we have small-scale miners mining responsibly and our water bodies clearing, and we also benefiting from this gold that we are, the resources that we mine.
Right. Thank you very much, Ken Ashigbe.
Thank you very much
for joining us.
Thank you.
A member of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. You're still watching News Desk. So much more to come. Stay tuned.